So you want to go outside. You want to enjoy the winter living in a van, an RV, something that you can get out more often in, but you want to stay warm. So what's 5 must-know hacks to stay warm in freezing weather? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things you can do, and yeah, probably a few more, to help you to stay warm, to help you to stay safe outdoors when the weather is ridiculously cold. But first of all, who am I? Why do I know so much about this? Well, my name is Mike Patterson, and I've been an outdoors person all my life, living here in Western Canada. And I go outside whether it's 40 degrees Celsius above zero or it's 40 degrees Celsius below zero. And by doing a few things, you can make your life much more enjoyable, and you can actually, well, be safe outside in ridiculously cold weather. So let's get into it. All right, number 1, the big one. And yes, I admit that a lot of people don't like this. It is costly, and it's really not a hack. It's just the truth. And that is to get yourself a furnace, whether it's a gas furnace, whether it's a propane furnace, whether it is a diesel furnace. Get yourself a furnace. It really does help. If you get a good enough one, it comes with a thermostat that you can set the temperature, and it will maintain that temperature 24 hours a day while you're in the van. So you don't have to worry about turning it on and turning it off. You don't have to worry about getting cold and getting hot. It's just like in a house, and it does work. Yes, it's expensive. And I know it's not the coolest thing for some people because, hey, it's not roughing it or anything. But believe me, it makes a huge difference. And if you're staying in a vehicle, in an RV, and the weather is ridiculously cold, having that will make it a lot more enjoyable. All right, number 2, and this is a hack. This is something that you can get whether you're in the U.S. or you're in Canada. If you're in the U.S., you go to a place like Harbor Freight. If you're in Canada, you go to a place like Princess Auto or Canadian Tire, and that is get yourself some moving blankets. You know, these insulated, these thick moving blankets, and use them to isolate in your vehicle the cold spots from the warm spots. Now, in my van, perfect example, it's a cold day today. I just came in from the outside. I turned my furnace on. I was starting to do some B-roll for this video, and I turned my furnace on. And I wanted to take a video of the intake, and I couldn't believe how cold it was down there. The cold air was just radiating from the front of the van. And here's a problem with Class B motorhomes, Class C, Class A. No matter how well they're insulated in the back, the front, underneath the dash, against the firewall, the doors, the windows, lets in a lot of cold air. And there's not a lot you can do. Yeah, you can put stuff in the windows, but that doesn't isolate it. Having a moving blanket, hanging it between the cab and the sleeping area of your vehicle helps big time. As an example, when I got in here, it was 11 degrees inside. I ran the furnace for about 20 minutes, and it went up by about 3 or 4 degrees. But the cold was just radiating from the front. I hung the moving blanket between the front and the back, and it was about 3 minutes, it went up to over 20 degrees Celsius in here. It was amazingly warm because it stopped that cold air from radiating back. You can also use it in like the back of your van, again, between the sleeping area and where your doors are, against the side of your van. I know people who hang them up in their RVs along the walls to help to add some extra insulation if they're not really insulated. They work wonderful. They're cheap to use, and they're already sewn and everything. So all you do is go out and you buy them. They're like $20 or $40 for one, and you put it up. On mine here in the van between the front and the back, I just put some clips on the ceiling, and I just clip it in from there. It works great. It works wonderful, and does work well. All right, the next one. And I know it's not cool. I realize that. Get yourself a good hat, a warm hat. That if you're just sitting in the van at night and you get chilled, put a hat on. Get some slippers and put slippers on your feet. No matter how well you insulate your van, it's going to feel chilled. Why will it feel chilled? Because you're so close to the outside wall that any cold air it'll affect you a lot more than it does in a house. Putting on some slippers, putting on a hat if you're just sitting around watching TV or reading or something will help you to stay much warmer. Now, an extra little one here. A number of years ago, I was in Waterton Lakes National Park, and I met this guy. He was over 80 years old, and he spent more of the year in the back of his station wagon than he did anything. He loved being in the mountains. And he didn't have a heater in the station wagon. He had nothing. But here was his routine. He would get up in the morning, have a nice warm breakfast. He would then go out skiing, cross-country shoeing. He would enjoy the day. Then, around supper time, he would have himself some supper. And then he would go to a local hotel that would let him sit in the pool and the hot tub for a while. He would have a nice warm shower, dry off really well, then come back to his vehicle. And this works really well. If you can, go and warm up your core body by sitting in a hot tub, going swimming, having a warm shower. It does work. But what happens if you don't? What happens if you can't do that? What happens if you don't have the money or a place to go? One thing that I recommend, and I use it quite a bit, especially with my bad shoulder and my joints, is use the heated seat in your vehicle to warm yourself up. Many times when you get chilled, no matter how warm it is inside of a building, you just can't shake that chill. Whereas if you have a heated seat, if it's built into your vehicle, use that. If you don't have it built in, get one of those 12-volt heated seats that plugs into the cigarette lighter or the 12-volt outlet and use that. It works wonderful. It works fantastic. And it will help you to get over that chill. It'll help you to just get warmed up enough. And if you get warmed up before you go to bed and then you get under some warm blankets, it will make life much, much, much more enjoyable. And it will make the night feel a lot warmer. Even though it hasn't changed the temperature, your core body temperature being higher, it'll just feel so much better. All right, the next hack. And I know a lot of people don't like these, but they do work. And that is Little Buddies or Mr. Buddies. They do really work well. They will help you stay warm. Now, I use mine quite often. I use it for if I'm outside changing a tire and I need some warmth in my hands, or if I'm working on something, if I need warmth. But I also use it in my RV while I'm trying to warm it up if it's stupid cold outside. It does work. Now, I don't like them running overnight. I've done it. I have CO2 detectors. I have smoke detectors. I had propane detectors. I don't like them running overnight, but they do work. A lot of people complain that there are a lot of wet, moisture-ridden air that gets into your RV. And yes, it is that. It does happen. And it's one of those things you have to watch out for. But it can work. It can be an emergency way of staying warm if the weather gets really cold, if you get stranded somewhere, if you need heat to change a tire or to do some work outside. They do work well for that. They're not the best, but they do what they do, and they do it well. All right, I think I've already gone over the 5 hacks, but let's add a few more here. Keep some extra food on board. Nothing can get you colder than not having something warm to eat. And even if you like eating salads, even if you like eating cold foods, having something warm to eat is a benefit. And if you get stuck outside, if you're stuck somewhere where you just don't have enough food, having a freeze-dried meal or two that you can add some warm water to, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, and then have something warm to eat can really help to warm up your core. It really can. And just that little meal, just sitting down for a little bit of food, just knowing that you have some extra food can be enough to make you feel, warm, can make you feel like you're, enjoying the outdoors and not you're just trying to survive. All right, what are some other ways that you can stay warm? Well, this is going to sound weird, but I see it often. People are in their van, they're in their RV, and they're shivering away. If you're that cold, bundle yourself up, go for a walk, and raise your core body temperature that way too. It will help, and it helps a lot. That's why a lot of these people who go skiing and stuff can enjoy the nights in their van, because their body temperature has been raised up all day by exercise, and then at night they're already warm. I see so many people sitting in their van all day long when the weather's cold outside, sitting in their van, not having anything to do. And then they say, it's hard to be in a van in the wintertime. Yeah, it is hard to be in a van in the wintertime if you just sit inside all the time. So go out and get some exercise. Now, the last one, and I've talked about this one in many of my videos, just the last video I did about what I do to prepare for winter, but get yourself a really good comforter. Get yourself something that you can crawl under and is nice and warm. It really does help. It's not going to be something that'll make you warm, but it'll help to keep you warm, and it is really worthwhile. So I hope those things helped. I hope you get out there. I hope you enjoy the temperature no matter what it is and stay safe while you're doing it. We'll talk to you next time. If you like this video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, the little bell notification, and we'll talk to you again. Bye-bye now.